Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Global Insight News, and I'm with a comprehensive update on the U.S.-Israel war against Iran, now in its 14th day. Overnight and into this morning, American and Israeli forces delivered some of the most intense airstrikes of the conflict yet, hammering targets in Tehran and across central and western Iran. At the same time, Iran's retaliatory air campaign has intensified, with missile and drone barrages targeting Gulf shipping, energy facilities, and Arab states, effectively choking the Strait of Hormuz and sending global oil prices surging back above $100 a barrel. We'll cover the latest strike details, Iran's aggressive response, the skyrocketing economic fallout, statements from President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, humanitarian impacts, and where this war might head next. This is fast-moving. Stay with us for the full picture. The war ignited February 28th with surprise U.S.-Israeli airstrikes on Iranian military, nuclear-linked sites, ballistic missile facilities, and leadership targets, including the confirmed death of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Since then, the campaign has escalated relentlessly. In the past 24 to 48 hours alone, Israel reported striking more than 200 targets across western and central Iran, including ballistic missile launchers, air defense systems, weapons production plants, and IRGC bases. Heavy smoke billowed over Tehran as explosions rocked the capital and nearby provinces like Al-Borz and Qom. The Israeli military described it as a large-scale and extensive wave of attacks under Operation Roar of the Lion, hitting everything from IRGC ground forces brigades to suspected high-explosive testing chambers at Parchin. The U.S. joined in force. Central Command confirmed additional strikes, including on Iranian aircraft at southeastern airfields and naval assets. Pentagon officials called this one of the heaviest days yet, with combined operations degrading Iran's air defenses, missile stockpiles, and internal security forces. President Trump posted on Truth Social, "We are totally destroying the terrorist regime of Iran, militarily, economically, and otherwise. Watch what happens to these deranged scumbags today." He described Iran's Navy and Air Force as gone, missiles and drones decimated, and leaders wiped from the face of the earth. Trump urged tanker crews to show some guts and navigate the Strait of Hormuz despite threats. Prime Minister Netanyahu, in recent statements, said the strikes are crushing Iran's regime and reshaping the Middle East, targeting nuclear scientists, missile programs, and proxies like Hezbollah. He acknowledged regime change may depend on Iranians rising up, but vowed to create optimal conditions for it. These strikes penetrated hardened sites. Satellite imagery shows damage to air defense barracks, naval bases like Imam Ali in Chabahar, and even suspected nuclear-related chambers at Talagan 2. Israel claims 80% of Iran's defense systems neutralized in some areas, though Iran disputes the scale. Iran refuses to yield. Tehran's response has shifted heavily to air and naval attacks across the Gulf. Iran launched multiple missile barrages at Israel overnight and into Friday. 4 waves between March 11-12 alone. One impacted near Nazareth in northern Israel, heavily damaging homes and wounding people. Another struck close to Jerusalem. Hezbollah fired simultaneously from Lebanon, hitting central areas. But the real economic weapon is in the Gulf. Iran's IRGC Navy and proxies have attacked commercial vessels, setting tankers ablaze in Iraqi waters and the Gulf of Oman. At least 16 ships hit since war start. Crews evacuating, traffic halted. The Strait of Hormuz, 20% of global oil flow, is effectively disrupted or closed as leverage. Iran's new Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei, in his first public statement, vowed to keep the strait blocked, continue attacks on Gulf Arab neighbors, and open new fronts if strikes persist. Iranian state media calls tankers legitimate targets and predicts oil at 200 barrel if security doesn't stabilize. Gulf states repelled attacks, explosions heard in Dubai, foreigners killed in Oman, while U.S. allies secure shipping lanes. This is deliberate economic warfare. Disrupt supplies, spike prices, pressure the U.S.-Israel to stop. Markets are reeling. Brent crude surged 9% plus recently, settling above 100 barrel, up 38% since war began. WTI followed suit. Prices volatile, brief spikes to 120, then pullbacks, but trend upward on Hormuz fears. Despite massive interventions, U.S. released 172 million barrels from Strategic Petroleum Reserve. IEA coordinated 400 million globally. Supply worries dominate. Tanker jams outside the strait damage facilities, and attack risks keep traders nervous. Global effects, Asian stocks down sharply, S&P 500 swinging wildly. U.S. gasoline climbing fast. Analysts warn sustained 100-plus oil reignites inflation, hits consumers and airlines hard. Jet fuel costs doubling in some regions. War costs mount. U.S. estimates billions in first weeks. Displacement, millions in Iran, hundreds of thousands in Lebanon, Israel. Humanitarian toll rising. Civilian deaths, injuries from strikes, debris. If disruptions last week's, experts warn nightmare scenarios, $150, $200 oil, global recession risks. This is dual war, military degradation versus energy weaponization. U.S.-Israel aim to cripple Iran's capabilities long-term. Iran counters by inflicting global pain. Trump mixed messages, we won, but finished the job, no early exit. Netanyahu, no time limit for campaign, alliance with Trump 100 times stronger. Iran's hardliners unified under new leader, no surrender signals. Risks, miscalculation, proxy expansion, Hezbollah others, accidental wider conflict. International, UN condemnations, G7 emergency meetings on reserves, protests worldwide against strikes. Humanitarian, thousands dead injured, civilians in crossfire, thoughts with all affected. Outlook, no off-ramp visible. War could drag weeks, months per Trump estimates. Oil likely stays elevated until Hormuz stabilizes. We'll track every development, strikes, markets, diplomacy. This is Global Insight News, fast updates on a historic crisis. For now, stay informed, stay safe. Good night.